All right, everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a quick decode of the strange events that happened yesterday, all connected to the Illuminati and this festival called Tomorrowland. And as you guys can already see, what are we going to get into here? We're going to get into the all-seeing eye, the third eye. Notice the logo for Tomorrowland, which is a music festival, one of the biggest in the entire world. It's an electronic dance music festival, and it's one of the biggest in the world. And I'm going to tell you why their stage caught on fire yesterday and how it connects to the Trinity test, which I talked about in my last video. So everything I talked about in my last video came true. I told you guys I didn't expect a big event, but I expected a ritual tied to this Trinity test, and we got it. Okay, fire, and we get a fire at Tomorrowland. So here we go. Let's dive into this real fast. So the news story is a massive fire destroys Tomorrowland main stage just days before the festival opening. Festival is not canceled. So first of all, you guys can see the symbolism here. This is an ice realm. Okay, the stage is literally designed with a lion. Think Jesus, the lion of the tribe of Judah. Think Satan, who seeks to devour like a lion, right? But this ice realm that they built, this stage was burnt by a fire. So you have fire and ice, okay? And so fire and ice, the elements, right? And this fire rising, right? The smoke rising, we're going to talk about how this all connects to the Illuminati and the third eye and all their rituals connected to third eye, the all-seeing eye, illumination. Fire represents vision and burning away illusion. Okay, so the ice is the illusion. The ice represents the form, the hardness of the vision, and then the fire burns that away. So they're making their symbolism. Okay, and again, I'm going to explain to you why this all works perfectly. Here we go. So remember, I told you guys in my last video, I was talking about yesterday, July 16th, watch for an event connected to the Trinity test, the nuclear bombing, which happened exactly 80 years ago yesterday, okay? And I told you guys how it was connected to the Golden Gate and Trump and how their ages were 88, 88, right? And I told you how there was a woman in wrestling named Trinity who had won a championship also 3 days before this Tomorrowland fire. Trinity represents the third eye. We're going to get into that, the third eye, okay? And she was lighting bombs in her briefcase, right? Bombings, okay? Nuclear bombs. But in this case, nuclear bomb does not mean an actual bomb, guys. It means the explosion of energy, the third eye activation. That's what they're trying to. The Illuminati ritual is all about, okay? And so here's the gist, guys. Here is the gist of the whole presentation. So yesterday, on the anniversary of the Trinity test, the bombing, right? It was called World Snake Day. Okay, it was on World Snake Day. This happened. Of course, the snake is the serpent, right? Well, we're in the year of the snake, okay, and that year of the snake started on January 29th this year. That was the day that the helicopter and plane collided in Washington. But this was World Snake Day. It was 168 days into the snake year on World Snake Day, and Tomorrowland, which equals 168 in the base ordinal cipher, catches on fire. Okay? How perfect, guys. And I forgot to even mention, if we go to yesterday, it was the day leaving 168 days in the year, and Tomorrowland equals 168. There's a fire at Tomorrowland on the 168 days left in the year, 168 days into the snake year, and yesterday was World Snake Day. Okay? So let me just type check the gematria of World Snake Day. I just wanted to check it real fast. to see what it came up with. But doesn't I mean, there is some interesting connections here with what I'm going to talk about. But I want to focus on the 168 again. Yesterday was a day with 168 days in the year. Tomorrowland catches on fire. Tomorrowland equals 168. 168 days into the snake year, and it was on World Snake Day. Now, the snake is representative of the Kundalini energy. Again, I don't believe this necessarily, guys. I'm just saying this is the Kundalini energy that rises like a serpent. So let's read. In Sanskrit, Kundalini translates to coiled one, and it's often depicted as a serpent coiled at the base of the spine, representing untapped potential. Kundalini is considered a form of divine energy, a sacred fire that is dormant within individuals. Various practices awaken this. Okay, so anyways, here's the Kundalini, the snakes rising up the spine to the third eye. Do you see the third eye, guys? Okay. The dormant energy, the dormancy is represented by the ice, because ice is dormant water, and the fire burns away and melts the ice, creating the snake, the fiery snake, to rise up to the third eye, creating third eye activation. And it's no coincidence that the third eye is literally the symbol of Tomorrowland. Okay, so here you go, the Kundalini. You can almost see the two snakes here and the third eye. This is clearly representing the rising of the Kundalini to the third eye. Okay, activation of the third eye. And this all happens on World Snake Day in the year of the snake, 168 days in, and Tomorrowland equals 168. Okay. Now, this is all about third eye activation, because in the Tantric Yogic, the third eye, the Anja chakra, is activated by the Kundalini, often described as a serpent of fire that rises from the base of the spine. This fire represents transformative energy. When it reaches the third eye, it burns away illusion and awakens higher perception. So it burns away the dormancy, the rigidity of their supposed thoughts, right? And it burns it away, and it supposedly creates third eye activation, serpent of fire. So here you go, serpent of fire rising up the spine. This is what they call third eye activation, which equals Tomorrowland Festival. Again, that's, if you go to the Wikipedia, they say it's called Tomorrowland Festival. So that equals third eye activation. And they're literally doing a fire. Tomorrowland fire also equals 91, like third eye activation and Tomorrowland Festival. So notice that Tomorrowland Festival has a 2-cipher match to third eye activation. So this is clearly what it was, guys. It's all about the serpent on World Snake Day rising up to the burning away of the rigidity and the third eye activation. Okay. Notice the crown here. You see the crown on top of the eye here. This represents the crown chakra, which sits above the third eye. This represents the two snakes here, these two shapes, the third eye and then the crown. This is literally the same thing on the head of this person. The crown, the third eye, and the two coiled serpents, right? So it's not a coincidence that this year, this festival was having a specific theme on the main stage. And let's just read about it. Let me go to the actual website and let's read what it says. It's called Orbyz. Orbyz, guys, which is an eye. An eye is another word for orb. And as I showed you here, I equals orb in 3 out of the 4 base ciphers. Okay, I equals orb. This is the third eye. I equals orb in 3 out of 4 base ciphers. Third eye equals the name that they've given it, which is Orbyz, with this YZ. This is the YZ. This is the serpent tongue, the Y, and the end. Okay, Z, the omega, the last. So it's orb with the last 2 letters of the alphabet, 25, 26. So they're telling you the orbs, the eyes are awakening in the year 25, 26. Because Y is the 25th letter when the year 25. Z is the 26th. That'll be next year. So 25 to 26 year, the last 2 letters of the alphabet. Okay. But anyway, third eye equals orbs. And what is the orbs? Well, let's read about it. Discover the hidden community. Again, the hidden Kundalini energy. Look what it says, guys. Set in a magical universe made entirely of ice, orbs will reveal a hidden community that has been existing under a gigantic ice cap for many years. Once the massive ice and glacier starts melting, the indigenous community rises to the surface, consisting of unique source of light, energy. Guys, rising to the surface, the Kundalini energy, I just told you. The Kundalini energy, the serpent rising to the third eye. They literally write in their thing, the fire energy rising to the surface, melting away the ice, and then they set fire to their stage to represent that. It's clear what they did. And look at it says right here, guys, below. It says, activate your bracelet. Again, I talked about third eye activation right here, right? Third eye activation. And literally on their page, with the orbs, which is eye, it looks like an eye. You see their symbol looks like an eye again, okay? And they say, activate your bracelet. So again, activation, about activating this energy, right? That's what they're saying here. And then they have a video where this Norse guy is in the ice cap and he's looking for these red orbs underneath the water, the melted ice. And there's a whole book, The Odes of the Orbs, with the lion. We just got the new Pope, the Pope Leo, the lion. And this goes back to Revelation, where Jesus, the lion, he's the flame of fire in his eyes. His eyes are a flame of fire. Do you get it, guys? And he has many crowns. This is literally, again, the symbol of Tomorrowland. It has the crown and the eye, and now we have this fire, right? So again, considering I already called this out the day before and I connected it to the Trinity test, which yesterday was the anniversary of that, we have to look at this Oppenheimer movie, which released a few years ago in July, where the fire is there behind him. And this was directed by Christopher Nolan. So let's see how this all ties together. So Christopher Nolan, let me just give you a preview here. Christopher Nolan directed both the Oppenheimer movie and The Dark Knight Rises. We're talking about this rising again. Okay, the rising of the energy, the Kundalini, in their thing. And look at it says right here, a fire will rise. Okay, on the front of the cover. But Christopher Nolan, Christ, right? He directed both this nuclear film and this. And what happens in The Dark Knight Rises? There's a nuclear attack. Let's read the synopsis for The Dark Knight Rises. If we read the synopsis for this movie, it says something about nuclear. Let me just get to it. Yeah, it's all about fusion reactors, and Bane wants to blow up the city, right? A nuclear physicist. You see, it's all about the Leonid, right? Leonid Pavel, a CIA. So nuclear, okay? And so this movie, The Dark Knight Rises, is clearly connected to his other movie, who he directed, which is Oppenheimer, about the nuclear, okay? And what was yesterday, guys? It was the anniversary of The Dark Knight Rises releasing exactly 156 months before yesterday, which is exactly 13 years. The Dark Knight Rises released on July 16th. Yesterday, the fire was rising. And look what it says on the front. A fire will rise. And then we had a fire rising exactly 156 months later, when Tomorrowland equals 156, and 156 is 9/11 is the 156 prime. Notice that Tomorrowland fire equals The Dark Knight Rises, and they put a fire will rise on this cover, and it released exactly 156 months before, which is the Gematria of Tomorrowland. Okay, and a fire will rise even equals Tomorrowland main stage fire 146. Both of them have the 146. Not the biggest connection. It's in different ciphers, but still, it does have the 146. Jesus Christ also equals 146. But again, clearly connected, guys. I mean, 100%. And again, this is the same guy. This is directed by the same guy who directed Oppenheimer. This happens on the anniversary of the Trinity test. We're talking about the third eye, the Trinity. Okay. And look at where this city, where this festival takes place. It's in Boom. The city is called Boom. Boom, like a bomb. Okay, so how can you get any more perfect than that? On the 80th anniversary of the Trinity test, a fire breaks out on the main stage in Boom. Okay, on the anniversary of The Dark Knight Rises, which also has a nuclear theme. Okay, a fire will rise. 156 months later, after this movie, fire rises. Tomorrowland. Makes me wonder what's going to happen today. The next day is tomorrow. But this all ties to what else happened yesterday. A lot of people say that nukes are responsible for underwater earthquakes. Well, there was a huge earthquake yesterday, the same day in Alaska. Okay? So this is connected, guys, 100%. A 7.3 earthquake south of Sandpoint, Alaska. A tsunami warning was issued, but it was later canceled. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to talk more about this in my live stream later tonight on Ani Asaru's channel. But yeah, I mean, this is all connected because earthquakes are probably caused by bombs. You got the same day you have the city in boom, the fire rising, all connected to the year of the snake and the third eye Kundalini activation. And again, I talked about this bombing and looking out for 716 for some sort of rituals connected to this. And this is what we got. The woman Trinity sets the bomb, right? Trinity, like the third eye. It's just, it's crazy. And look how she's wrapped in caution tape, like a serpent wrapping her way up her body. You see how she's wearing a serpent caution tape, representing the serpent coming up, right? That's why she's wrapped in the caution tape. So again, everything I talked about yesterday came to fruition just like I would have expected. Well, not like I would have expected, but definitely something I knew was going to happen connected to it. And again, guys, let me just advertise where I'm going to be tonight. I'm going to be live on Ani Asaru tonight. Let me find his channel. I'm going to be live tonight on his channel. And let me see if he's already got this set up. But it's not set up yet, guys. But be on the lookout for the stream. I'm going to be with him tonight, along with AJ and Rambo, and we're going to have a good time. I think it's going to be around 8 p.m. Eastern time. So I'll make a community post about this later. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit the like button on your way out. And as always, we'll see you guys in the next video.